how do you find it weighing visually? You have to make up your own version of it.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the ways Wicked follows the yellow brick road set by the Wizard of Oz, and how it veers off the beaten track. If you're yet to see part 1 or you haven't seen the show, be gone before someone drops some spoilers on you. We're kidding, of course, but this is your spoiler warning for both part 1 and part 2 of Wicked.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz summons you to the Emerald City.
Number 5. Stays true. Costume design. Creating costumes for a movie as big as Wicked meant honoring the Wizard of Oz, nodding to Broadway, and still surprising fans. And Paul Tazwell's team delivered.
You're gonna be popular. I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair, everything that really counts to be.
The Wicked Witch of the West is that witch in pop culture, so keeping her iconic silhouette just made sense, though they gave her style some modern updates.
For Paul, his goal was to bring this iconic silhouette into a more modern frame of view.
The way that I fabricated it turns it into something else.
As for Glinda, while Broadway's bubble dress is blue, Billy Burke's bubble entrance is an unforgettable image that served as inspiration here.
Where I took that was creating that silhouette with spiraled shapes and imagery that is reflective of the bubble.
It's also why the movie's Glinda practically lives in pink. You'll also spot the return of the original silver slippers, although there's a nod to the ruby pair too. Also, Nessa Rose's shoes feature tornado-shaped heels, foreshadowing her fate. Number 5. Totally different. The focus of the story.
Let me tell you the whole story. Our paths did cross. At school.
While the Wizard of Oz focuses on Dorothy's adventures in Oz, she's essentially just a footnote in Wicked. In fact, she only appears momentarily. Gregory Maguire, who wrote the source novel, was inspired by events in the 90s and the power the media has to shape public opinion. He considered how the most famous fictional Wicked character is only known by that label without further exploring her story.
This is the Wicked Witch of the West. She's worse than the other one was.
He took the fantastical world of Oz and grounded it in reality, dealing with issues like friendships, power struggles, love, and how society rejects those seen as different.
One's difference doesn't make them wrong or bad, it just makes them special. And I think that that's a bigger, wider idea that we can all share with the world.
The musical explores identity, injustice, and how perceptions are formed, leading to Elphaba's fate and Glinda's rise as the Good Witch. Number 4. Stays true. Follow the yellow brick road. Perhaps one of the most frustratingly catchy numbers in The Wizard of Oz is Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road.
Yet it's a key part of Dorothy's journey, helping her meet new friends and leading her to the wizard. On Broadway, the yellow brick road doesn't play as big of a role, though the wizard explains to Elphaba why he built it, and that melody even appears in Defying Gravity.
Can't I make you understand? You're having delusions of grandeur.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
In the film, the wizard unveils his grand plan for an Oz where all paths lead to him. We're surprised he even needed a hot air balloon with such an inflated ego. All that's missing is the perfect color, and that's where Elphaba and Glinda leave their first mark on Oz.
People need direction. When this thing gets built, everybody is going to remember that if you just follow the road, it's going to lead you right to me.
Number 4. Totally different. The Merry Old Land of Oz. In L. Frank Baum's book, anyone entering the Emerald City has to wear emerald-tinted glasses.
Every way that you look in the city, there's something exquisite you'll want to visit before the day's through.
They're told it's because the city's brightness and glory would be too much for their eyes, but really it's just to uphold the wizard's illusion. The 1939 film takes a different approach, convincing everyone that the Emerald City is a jolly old town, which Dorothy and her friends accept, no questions asked.
We get up at 12 and start to work at 1. Take an hour for lunch and then at 2 we're done. Jolly goodbye!
Elphaba and Glinda are initially dazzled by the city's grandeur too, but after meeting the wizard, Elphaba starts to spot the cracks in the facade. She takes off her metaphorical glasses and pulls back the curtain, revealing a regime built on the very prejudices she's been fighting.
I give you the Oz of tomorrow. He was able to fool people into thinking that he could do something magical.
Number 3 stays true. Origin stories for characters. If you have no idea what's coming up in part 2, you may want to skip ahead. All clear? Okay, let's talk about how Wicked gives Dorothy's companions their origin stories, starting with the Scarecrow. In Dancing Through Life, Fiyero sings,
"Life is painless for the brainless."
An ode to living the unexamined life. See where we're going with this? Now for Bach.
Bach Woodsman of Munchkin Land.
His storyline shows how he loses his heart to Glinda, but when she doesn't feel the same, he settles for Nessa Rose. By Act 2, he literally becomes heartless.
It's due to her I'm made of tin, her spell made this occur. So for once I'm glad I'm heartless, I'll be heartless killing her.
Sound familiar? Finally, there's the trembling caged lion cub Elphaba and Fiyero rescue. Elphaba gets blamed for his nervous disposition rather than those who caged him, which brings us to our next point.
And the lion also has a grievance to repay. If she let him fight his own battles when he was young, he wouldn't be a coward today.
Number 3, totally different. Justice for animals. In The Wizard of Oz, we see the horse of a different color and the flying monkeys, both serving human masters. The cowardly lion is the only speaking animal, and he has hope for his future in Oz. In Wicked, animals represent marginalized and oppressed groups, showing the prejudice and injustice of being treated as other. Once, animals and humans lived in peace, but after a severe drought, people needed someone to blame.
There was a time before you were born when life in Oz was different. So, when and why did this change?
From what I've read, the Great Drought.
The wizard took advantage of this, promising a better future if people followed his lead. Soon animals were cast out, losing the qualities that once made them equals. This serves as a chilling reflection of social injustices in history and even today.
Listen to me! You're not being told the whole story!
Number 2 stays true. The wizard is a fraud. Toward the end of The Wizard of Oz, Toto pulls back the curtain on the wizard to reveal a man with little more than a knack for showmanship.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Who are you?
Oh, I am the great and powerful Wizard of Oz.
Dorothy calls him a bad man, but he's quick to explain that he's not bad. He's just not the leader everyone expects him to be. In both versions, he also explains how he ended up in this position of power.
I will be wonderful, and they said wonderful. Believe me, it's hard to resist.
In Wicked, Elphaba catches on to the wizard's scam pretty quickly.
Folks have come to expect that sort of thing, and you gotta give the people what they want.
The most magical thing he does in the film is pull a coin from behind her ear, and she spots a poster from his circus days. This wizard also tries to convince Elphaba he's not so bad, and it almost works. Almost.
You have no real power!
Exactly. That's why I need you.
Number 2, totally different. The ending. Dorothy goes on this epic adventure in Oz, culminating with her melting the Wicked Witch and clicking her heels together, only to find out it was all a dream.
But it wasn't a dream. It was a place. And you, and you, and you, and you were there.
Oh,
But you couldn't have been, could you?
Wicked may not be a literal prequel to The Wizard of Oz, but if it was, Dorothy sure has a powerful subconscious to dream up a backstory for everyone she meets. Wicked ends with Elphaba and Glinda parting ways for what seems like the very last time, leading up to that famous melting scene.
Melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness?
But without giving too much away, unlike the Wicked Witch, Elphaba's story doesn't end there. Who can say if Wicked's ending was changed for the better? But one thing's for sure, it stayed with us for good.
Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed for good.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Stays true. The power of friendship. The Wizard of Oz is all about self-discovery, inner strength, and realizing that home isn't just a place, but a feeling of love and belonging. Friendship plays a huge role, teaching the value of trust and support on life's big journey.
We know each other now, don't we?
That's right, we do. To Oz? To Oz.
We come to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
In Wicked, Elphaba and Glinda's bond shapes their lives and the choices they make too. Despite their differences, they form an unlikely friendship that helps them grow.
After you, Madame. Let's see. Pink goes good with green.
Goes well with green.
It so does.
Their relationship faces challenges, misunderstandings, jealousy, and conflicting beliefs, but proves that true friendship can survive it all. As they deal with power, identity, and societal pressure, their friendship remains a constant source of strength. It provides emotional support in a world that often tries to pull them apart.
You can do anything.
I know. I think that we are all deserving of friendship and kindness and love, no matter who we are.
Yeah!
And this film celebrates that.
Number 1. Totally different. Are people born wicked? In The Wizard of Oz, we're told that the very objective scale of attractiveness is enough to determine whether someone is good or bad.
I'm Glinda, the Witch of the North. You are? Oh, I beg your pardon, but I've never heard of a beautiful witch before. Only bad witches are ugly.
Yep, that's all it takes. But Wicked flips that tired trope on its head in its opening number, asking,
Are people born wicked? Or do they have wickedness thrust upon them?
Take Elphaba. She's got a huge heart, but most people can't see beyond her skin color, making her feel like a perpetual outsider. Then there's Glinda, or Glinda, who might seem like your textbook mean queen bee, but actually shows a lot of goodness too.
She doesn't give a twig what anyone thinks.
Something is not the same. Of course she does. She just pretends not to.
Meanwhile, the wizard beloved by Oz is nothing but a self-serving charlatan hiding behind smoke and mirrors. So how did Elphaba end up as the wicked one?
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
Did we miss any similarities or differences that should have hit us like a house falling from the sky? Let us know in the comments.
Everybody is going to remember that if you just follow the road, it's going to lead you right to me.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.